We are back from break. Michael, back to you.
All right, so let's start off with Buddy and Eddie, and tell me how the last 3 weeks have been for y'all.
I think that with Eddie's declining health, that Buddy would be taking a more proactive role, both in the sort of relationship and investigations, where he's always been super timid. Now that Eddie's becoming just slightly frail, he's trying to take up that slack and trying to become a stronger partner for Eddie.
All right.
Really good question. So at the end of I guess the 3 weeks ago, my hit points were down to 7. Would they actually still be that low because my health is declining?
Yes, in fact, give me a luck roll.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
You're the worst human being in the world.
I hear that so many times a day, you'd be surprised. Or maybe you wouldn't.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it? All right, then you're only at 6 health points.
That means they don't go down.
All right.
So I have a question for you, Michael. Would we have heard about this mass killing?
We're going to get there in just a second.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give you all a chance to, if you wanted like any exposition or kind of any scene setting from the last few weeks to set that up, just give you a chance to do that.
Sure. So I think, Eddie is doing a couple things. He's trying to figure out what's going on with his health, and he's trying to figure out why he's not eating the way he's sort of like he would if he had a choice between FBI and professional leader would have worked out. That's where he would have gone instead. So for him, this is heartbreaking that he just doesn't love food the way he used to. At the same time, he wants to keep the investigation going. He's trying to get clearance from sort of the home office to be able to go move the investigation over to Bloodstone. And in particular, one of the angles that he's looking for is to see if Jimmy, my old partner, I'm starting to get a sense that maybe he has something to do with disappearing to Bloodstone. And I've been digging into that, and I'm looking to see if there's more than one reason to go there, and then I'll use that as sort of the reason why I think the investigation needs to move.
Okay. All right. I'm going to cut back to Colette for a moment. And when we left Colette, she was finishing up her conversation, or I don't know, maybe she wasn't. She was talking to the widow. Maybe I should leave it there.
I think finishing up the conversation is appropriate.
Okay.
I strongly think that she should leave. And I'm really curious about what happened next door.
Okay. And now that you go next door, there's some large boards nailed up over the door that just say "keep out," and a piece of paper on there. It says, order of police, no entry on this property, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't give any specifics about what's inside, but definitely telling people to stay off the property.
Yeah, well, Colette would get out of sight pretty quickly, perhaps move behind the house, trying to see inside if possible, if there are any windows.
And the thing about the straits, given how quickly the whole city went up to support the base,
It's kind of like Shantytown.
It's not right. It's not so much that it's old; it's just poorly constructed. Right. These were kind of the houses that were built for the support staff of the city and the jobs not on the base, but just to kind of keep the city running that they expected. So you're not like moving around an old house, just one that doesn't feel so sturdy.
Mm-hmm. So are there any places I can see inside of
Oh,
this
I'm sorry.
building?
I apologize. I missed that part in my description.
Okay.
As you Yes, you could certainly peek in the doors. Like there's windows around the sides of the house. Not a ton, right? They didn't invest a lot or put a lot of money into kind of windows and things, but there's one on the side of the house. There's a window in the
Mhm.
front door, just a small one, in the upper part. There's no like full glass door. And then there's
Right.
a back door on the house, and that too has a window in it that you could,
Is that back
a
door
smaller window.
also covered with, is it locked? Is it covered with wood signs, keep out, just like the
Yeah,
front
it,
door?
it would be, well, let me see. They may not care so much. Yeah, they nailed that door up as well.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty
Well,
much made of paper. You could just walk through a wall.
There you
what
go. That too.
do I see when I look through some of these windows? As I'm walking around the house, I would probably be able to peek into a few different rooms.
Sure, make a spot hidden.
All right, that's got to be good. That's a 33, which is, oh, just a regular success.
Okay. There's no lights on in the house, but as you're peeking around, there's dark stains everywhere. So through the back door, you're able to see into the kitchen, and the cabinets themselves are dark, but you can see dark stains all over the cabinets in the kitchen. It looks like puddles of dark stains on the floor. From what you can tell, you can't see any bodies, um, but certainly things that seem off, like pots and pans on the floor, uh, furniture that's knocked over as you peek back towards the front of the house. It certainly looks like there was a disturbance, and things that, as you just make your stomach kind of squirm. And given what Nora next door said, makes you feel pretty uneasy about whatever it looks like in the house, especially with the signage and the paper.
Yeah. One more question. I said before that I hid in Nora's basement, but would a house in the Straits actually have a basement? They probably weren't really excavated so much as just thrown together, right?
That's probably fair. Yep.
Okay, so her back room, and there's no cellar door or anything around the back of this house.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right on that.
Okay. Okay. And is there a yard? What sort of space am I? Am I like in an alley?
So you're in a New Mexico yard, which is to say, right, pretty sandy. No, like there's no grass. There's no fence. It's just kind of the back lot, and nothing that's kempt in this area. So maybe some old toys in the backyard that are pretty sun bleached, and maybe like a tarp flapping here or there that's used to secure the sound of a tarp flapping. But all the backyards are kind of open, and the Straits either houses border houses, or they just kind of border the open desert.
Okay. So last question then. I'm not quite ready to make the leap to break into the house in broad daylight, but just looking around this yard, do I see anything that I wouldn't expect to see there? I know that's a very broad question, but I don't want to
Sure.
ask everything that I see just because it would take quite a while.
Yeah,
But
make
if
a
I'm-
make a spot hidden.
Okay. That is a hard success.
A hard success. And something that you wouldn't expect to see.
I would expect broken toys or detritus from projects or junk.
Let me reach into my imagination here and see if I can. Yeah. On the ground, as you're kind of like walking around and looking around, is a piece of jewelry, and it looks kind of unusually expensive. to be on the ground. It's a ring, and it's got a looks to appear like a ruby in the middle, and then some diamonds in a circle around it.
I will pick that up and slide it in my pocket.
Okay.
And then I would like to head back to the hotel, the seedy hotel, and look for Buddy and Eddy, because I think having some backup with badges might be helpful at this point in time.
And I would like to add something to that ring. It is it's a very it's not like a thin, delicate band. It's a very thick gold band. So this is a very heavy ring. I don't want to go so far as to kind of gender the ring, but it's definitely a sturdy ring.
Okay. Got it.
What time of day is it?
Colette, you tell me.
It's probably late afternoon by now.
Okay. That seems
Afternoon
good.
tea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would head back then.
Okay. And then maybe then we can cut to Buddy and Eddy as you see Colette returning to the hotel, and I'll turn this scene over to y'all.
Okay.
I'm going to lean over and say, Buddy, don't forget, her name is Lulu Minkton. It's the most important detail of this whole thing. We got to use the right name here.
Yeah, I remember, sir. We've been over this a lot. Lulu.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm forgetting what I forget.
I know. Hey, so if I make you a piece of toast, you think you could eat it?
I'm not going to eat a piece of fucking toast.
What if I put some butter and jelly on it?
I'm not.
I know you like
what am I-
raspberry.
Buddy, you're my guy, but what am I, 8?
Knock, knock, knock.
All right, I'll go over and get the door. Oh, hello, Lulu. And I turn and give Eddy a look.
Good job. Good job, Buddy.
Come on in.
Slide in. I'm going to slide inside the door and shut the door. And you're both in the room?
Both in the room.
Okay,
Yes.
Great. We need to investigate.
Oh,
murder.
what's going on? Oh, really? Where?
Wait.
Who got murdered?
A family in the Straits lived next door to a house I used to stay in.
That's horrible.
I don't know how many of them there were. I don't know any of the details. The woman I spoke to was very, very understandably disturbed. I told her she should go away for a while.
That's a good
So-
I think
idea.
the bodies are still in the house.
Colette, I gotta ask, it's the Straits. Bad stuff happens there. Like, we can't, do you think it's related to what we're doing here? Because we can't get distracted.
I have no idea what it's related to, but I will never know if I don't take a look. And I didn't want to be just breaking into a house in broad daylight.
Yeah,
How often does mass murder happen in the Straits?
it's a pretty
It
tough
was a
area.
whole family, kids, adults.
That seems
I peeked
unusual.
in the window. It looked like a bloodbath. It was horrible. It was horrible.
So, Eddy, can you call the office and see if anything was reported?
Yeah, well, how long? So how long? When did they get murdered? Where are the bodies? Are they down at the morgue?
So, according to Nora, it was the day before yesterday. And I couldn't see the bodies, but she said they hadn't taken them away yet.
Hadn't taken them away?
That's
In
horrible.
this heat? What, are you kidding me? If there's any
As you
evidence
said,
on
it's
them,
the
they're going to
Straits.
be decomposing. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's the Straits. They're not dogs. They're people.
Well, Eddy,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
We
This is
gotta
what
get-
I know.
Buddy, we got to get the fuck down there right now. And I'm dragging the police if I find out that there's bodies still there.
I
Someone's going
agree.
to answer for this.
I agree. Let's go. And
And
I'll
as
go
I'm
over
getting
and
up-
help. I'll go over and help
I was
Eddy
going to
up.
say, I'm having a little bit of trouble sort of getting up and you know, it's just, I'm not moving the way I normally would. So
Now, Eddy, I got to ask you this again. Do you want to use the cane?
I'm not, You know where I told you to put that cane last time.
I know, and I bet that's very nice of you, but no. You got to use it at some point. It'll save your energy.
Let me.
And who knows? Maybe you could get to hit somebody with it. Wouldn't that be nice? I know you'd like that.
I'll take the cane. I'll be like, I'm taking the fucking cane.
Okay, good. I'll go get it for you. I make good toast. That says I'm walking out.
All right, so we'll get in the car, head on over.
Okay.
And at this point, I'm not even driving really. I'm having Buddy do all the driving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and these aren't big distances, so especially if y'all drove early evening, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were mid-afternoon visiting
Mhm.
Nora, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just call it or early evening then. It's still time of year. There's still plenty of light out. You pull up, right? You see the keep out sign kind of nailed to the front door and the police order. And what I kind of left out, Colette, as you were at the back of the house, if you had kind of listened closely, you would have heard flies.
Oof. Okay, so, sir, Eddie, sir, are we just gonna break open the door?
Oh, we're going in there. Yeah, one way or another. I can use this cane for something.
Okay. I would assume we'd have some sort of tools in the car, no?
Sure. Yeah.
Pry
Okay.
with the cane.
I don't want to bust his cane.
Let me in.
So,
we could go
like
in
a
the
tire
back
iron or
just,
something.
We could go in the back just to attract a little less attention.
Okay.
I know it's the Straits, but still, people.
Yeah. No. First things first. So I'm going to be like, look, 9 times out of 10, in a scene like this, the door's unlocked. So do me a favor, buddy. Just see if it's unlocked for me.
All right, I'll go check it. And I'll go up and check the door.
Oh,
I
I thought they nailed the boards into the door. They
No, just
nailed
across
boards,
the door,
like,
across
into
the door frame. Yeah, into the frame.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
That's a keeper fail.
That's okay.
Well, if that's the case, front doors usually open out, right? So,
Yeah, that's.
I mean, unless there's a storm door. If there's a storm door, it would open in.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
door itself,
so-
the storm door would open out, and then the regular door
Yeah,
would
good
open
point. The front door is unlocked, but it bumps the wood.
in. Okay.
So
All right. Well, then I'll go back to the car, grab a tire iron. And, okay, let's go around the back. Unless there happens to be a crowbar, then I would take that.
yeah, I mean, I think that given that that's not an unreasonable thing for the.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
going to
That's
say,
all.
look, we're bringing the cops in here. So just go in the front door, buddy.
Okay. I'll go and pop it.
Okay. And give me a strength roll.
Ooh, hey, I get to roll dice.
Get the roll.
This is when Buddy loses an eye.
It's a hard success. Also, fuck
Nice.
you.
All right. Very nice.
Scott's
So
not the only one that swears. I guess.
You're rubbing off
pop,
on me.
Yeah.
You pop that
Gross.
sign right off, right?
Yeah.
Just bink, and you're like, oh yeah, it's just a couple of nails in there, and I will say when you opened the door and it bumped the wood, and then you closed it back,
Mhm.
you caught a whiff.
Okay, then I'll
So-
do the the shirt up over the nose thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll open the door, and is there a front stoop, like steps to get up to the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Then I'll help Eddie up the steps,
Okay.
and then go in first. I got flashlight, so flashlight.
Yeah, I got my flashlight out.
Okay. And even as even with your shirt over your nose, man, that smell hits you. Everybody should at least make a con roll as they walk in.
Fail.
I got a hard success.
Okay.
You made me roll twice. Can you guess what happened the second time?
94.
Oh no,
98.
closer. It's 97.
Oh.
That's what happens when you make me roll twice. One of them's going to be a critical fail.
Come on.
All right, buddy. Then you're just gonna throw up like right down your shirt. You thought you were prepared for this, and you pull a reverse baby, right? You just like throw up all the way down, comes right out the bottom of your shirt, all down your pants, and I think more than anything for Buddy, who's tried to take this like kind of caretaker role over for Eddy, it's really embarrassing. For him.
Hell yeah.
It's okay. And as you're doing
It's embarrassing for me.
I come up and I'm sort of patting you in the back and I'm like, it's okay, buddy. Get it out. What, was that a little bit of your toast coming up?
It's
going to be on your toast later.
All right. So Buddy's got to step outside and dry heave for a couple of minutes while y'all start walking in the house.
Okay. So obviously the first
Collette,
thing.
did you fail?
I did, but not a critical fail.
Yeah, you like how she failed and then like backed off the microphone and pretended to take notes.
Right.
Like, oh,
I barely
maybe the keeper
failed.
won't know I failed, but maybe he won't notice
I have
me
to
back
write
here.
everything down, about Buddy's fail. It's
Okay.
important.
All right. And so you don't throw up, but it hits you too hard and you actually step outside. I mean, between Buddy throwing up down himself, you have to step outside. So Eddy, you're kind of left in there alone.
Yeah, and not for nothing, but when they look at me, what they notice is that I've got like, what's it got? Like, that stuff, like charcoal or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've got a little bit of that, like under my nose, and I'm like, amateurs.
Little menthol on the upper lip.
Or menthol, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And so you're laughing at them. Colette, you'll be kind of helping Buddy out. Eddy,
Before I
Can you
go, I'm
share
going to
some of
toss.
that?
I was going to say, I'm going to toss the menthol out to you guys and be like, when you guys feel better, put that on your nose and come on in.
Do you have like a circus peanut wedged under your nose?
It's just 2 circus peanuts in each nostril.
let's say you just break it in half. One up.
It's a waste of perfectly good circus peanut.
I would never waste a circus peanut that way. I can't even joke about it.
So, I mean, immediately, Eddy, as you're shining the light around, you can see the furniture that's upturned. So there's a staircase that goes upstairs on the left-hand side. There's some broken spindles that go to the banister.
No
And
bodies immediately visible, though. Blood.
But there's dark splatters and the flies are buzzing around the dried. You would just immediately know it's dried blood on the floor. There's broken furniture in kind of the main living area, and you go into the back and give me a investigative, like a spot hidden or something that might go with your detective attributes, and you can Columbo this out.
Yeah, I got a hard success.
Cool. So what you immediately notice is that they did nothing but board up this house, the police.
No cleaning. The bodies are gone, though. I can see where the bodies were, but the bodies are not there now.
No. There's blood spots on the floor, but there's nowhere that a body would have been.
Oh, okay. I got you.
What you do look at, there's where the couch is, you notice that it's blanketed and pillowed in such a way that it looks like somebody was sleeping on the couch. And when you walk into the kitchen, the drawer that held the knives is on the floor. There's knives falling out across the floor. Not a ton, but like 4 or 5. And you're already kind of putting together what you think happened in this situation.
So am I seeing like blood splatter? Is it,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there's sort of a directionality to it. Does it look like it's going upstairs?
It's more it's more like dripping, and there's hand smears on the walls. Like whatever happened didn't happen down here, but some sort of blood evidence was left around up here.
Okay. All right. And there's an upstairs, and I'm Like I can see stairs or something to an
Yeah,
upstairs.
yeah, the stairs are like, imagine if you walk in the front door, you're basically standing in the living area, and there's a set of stairs that
Okay.
goes up
Are there
on the left.
are there handprints? Are there bloody handprints or footprints or blood spatter in the stairway as well?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna call out, buddy, Colette. I'm heading upstairs. Let me know when you guys feel better and come on in. And I say, and yes, buddy, I'll use my cane. So I'm gonna head on up the stairs. I'll sort of use the cane to prop myself.
Okay. And at the top of the stairs, even above the menthol, I mean, they've been baking for like a day and a half in there. And
so I see the bodies.
You see, so as you get to the top of the stairs, there's a bathroom just offset a little bit right there. And in the doorway to the bathroom, you see feet, bare feet, hanging or kind of pushed out on the floor. And there's blood everywhere in the hallway upstairs, all over the walls. As you're just peeking around, you see another pair of feet hanging out of one of the bedrooms. And then what catches you the most that really just kind of like makes Eddy freeze is there's a body a little further to the right, and it's definitely a child's body.
Oh, and these freaking, and I'm just sort of saying, I'm like, these freaking cops can't imagine what they'd be thinking leaving bodies here. So I'm gonna go and I want to examine the bodies, and I want to look, and do me a favor and keep this as safe for Scott as you can.
Yeah.
But what I want to see is, if I can tell, were they all killed with a knife? Do I see any gunshot wounds? Am I I'm looking for what killed them? I've got gloves on, and I'm going to be really, really careful as I'm moving them, so I don't want to fully disturb it. I'm also looking to see if I can see evidence of any type of investigation, any signs that the police have done any work here.
Okay, so we're gonna do two things. First, I'm gonna give you the basics, and then I'm gonna have you de-headphones so I can describe the scene fully for the rest of the investigators, and then you can put your headphones back on, and I'll give you the simple version. But nothing's been disturbed. There's been no investigation whatsoever, right? All the bodies, they're not moved from their blood stains. There's no disruption. Nobody's turned anybody over. Nobody's looked at anything. All right, de-headphone. I'll give the not safe for Scott description, and then I'll tell you to come back. Okay. So as he makes it up there, in the bedroom are the husband and wife. Their throats have been slit, and the bed is coated with blood. One of them's dangling off and hanging on the floor. There's the child in the hallway who's been stabbed, and then there was another child in their bedroom who was stabbed as well, so the little brother and sister. The part that would probably be the most gruesome for Scott, the pair of feet in the bathroom, the bare feet in the bathroom. When he looks at that body, it has no face. It looks like it was, and he would be able to ascertain, and through his description, that it was in the process of skinning its face off, and succeeded mostly in doing so when he removed the face and bled out all across his body while he was removing his face with the knife.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. No, not okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a clarifying question.
Yeah.
It was self-inflicted?
Yes.
Were all of these self-inflicted?
No, the other, and this is okay for him to put back on because he'll need to know part of this.
Okay.
All of the other, so
you said I can come back.
Yeah. So in this process, you've discovered that a husband and wife were murdered and their two children, and then there's a man in the bathroom on the floor. He's dead as well. The family was murdered. There's defense wounds on their arms. They were trying to prevent being stabbed. and
So they were obviously killed with a knife.
Right, and they were murdered. The man in the bathroom is died by this self-inflicted wound that I described, which I'll spare you, Scott.
I have one clarifying question.
Sure.
You said the man in the bathroom had bare feet.
Yes.
Which spelling?
Oh.
Oh, you're such an idiot. As I was watching the screen and I saw the description, I saw Art's face, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not watching it. I'm listening to this. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that last one was bad. So,
and you, buddy, you and Colette would find this same scene quickly as you recovered.
What else is he wearing? Like, how is he dressed?
Great question. So he's dressed particularly, and I think what you would put together, Eddie, with your investigative sense is that this man on the floor was probably sleeping on that couch at some point. So he was a guest of the house. And your question, buddy, is great. He appears to be wearing, which is a little odd because everybody else is dressed for sleep, but this man was dressed like he was sleeping in his street clothes, which aren't particularly nice. They're well worn. That's a good way to put it.
Maybe you
Okay.
said this, but do we see the knife anywhere?
Yes, the knife is with the man.
Okay.
And he's also carrying he has a satchel across his shoulder and on his hip. I mean, it's not on his hip now, but if you were like the kind of satchel that the strap would go diagonally across the body and then rest on the hip. That's kind of splayed out on the floor away from him.
All right, check that out.
Okay. And so inside that satchel, you just, do you open it? Tell me what you do. It's important.
I pick it up and hold each side of the satchel and open it and look inside.
Okay. It's covered in dried blood. And so when you open the satchel, like crusty kind of blood flops off the satchel onto the floor. And he bled enough that there was blood inside. There's 2 books inside of it, and one of them is absolutely soaked in blood. The other is not.
Do I recognize either of the books?
Let's see. Buddy, would you recognize either of the books? One of them, no, you definitely would not. The other would, if you had seen Joe with it, you would recognize it.
Okay. And I'm aware that I'm aware of the stories that go along with this book, right?
I don't know that you would be.
I don't know that I would know Joe's story, but I would know that there is a legendary book that that people involved in the investigation have said has powers that you're not supposed to touch it, right? Or would Buddy know that?
See, this is a great question. Joe wouldn't have said it, and Pappy wouldn't have said it. Sister B, would you have said it? And the reason I'm not so sure that they would say anything is because that saying that would denote or be admitting to some sort of kind of mental weakness with this book, right? It's like an addiction almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's Sister B. She only ran into the book towards the end of Joe's being around, and so it was just for a short period of time. So she just would have thought of it to be an anomaly and wouldn't have said anything to anyone.
Okay. Then I guess considering that Buddy has found, he found that atlas, and that there was important shit in that atlas, I'm trying to figure out if he would check it right now. He would definitely check it, but I don't know if that would be right now.
Okay.
Like, I'm trying to picture being in a bathroom with what you've described.
Sure. And don't forget the overwhelming smell. There's flies all in your face.
Uh-huh.
And if it helps, when I see you sort of bending over, I'm like, hurry up, buddy. We got to get those cops on the phone. I'm getting their asses down here right now. This is wrong.
All right. I think we should keep this.
Yeah, I'm not leaving these idiots anything. They don't deserve any evidence from this crime scene.
Okay.
Would Eddie or Buddy recognize the bag?
Oh.
I don't know.
I mean, you said it was so covered in blood that blood flaked off when he opened it.
On one side or both sides?
Let's do this. I think you both, all three of you, make a sand roll.
Sure.
Let's solve this the old-fashioned way.
Oh God.
So as they're rolling, I'll just say I'm sitting here trying to piece together.
Hey,
who
Colette?
knew who.
Colette,
Success for me.
she's really trying to get out of these things tonight. That sand rolls for you too.
Oh.
You're in the house.
Okay.
Yeah, success for me too.
Success for me too.
Oh, come on, all three of you.
It's like the first time we've ever had like
Right.
multiple successes together.
Okay. No, that's pretty great. Then who rolled the lowest? What'd y'all roll? And
I
we'll
got a 12.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
23.
Okay.
Okay.
What's that?
8?
38.
Oh, I thought you just
Okay.
said 8.
So Eddie, I think you're going to be the one who points it out. Then you're just all going to be more amazed than anything, but you're going to be like, I think that's Pappy.
Whoa. Holy crap.
I'm just trying to remember, when did you guys meet Pappy?
We
At
barely
Richard's
know.
house.
Yeah, at Richard's
He
house.
stayed away from us.
All
He
of us
avoided
were
like the
at
plague.
Richard's house. I think the last thing that happened was that he came in, right?
Yep, we
Yeah.
had that brief thing when we finally all came together and were thinking of going to Bloodstone,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and we were all
was
in a group.
wait. My
So, Buddy,
character was
maybe-
there too?
Yeah. Yeah, this was
Yeah,
at Richard's
la-
house.
Last episode of season 3.
That's where, remember, he found, yeah. So maybe that's what you would say then, Buddy, to Eddie, is be like, is this that guy who was at, like, I think, y'all have that investigator sense. You're gonna keep faces in your mind.
Mhm.
I think you would pass off to each other and say,
He was.
Is that
And I'll
that-
say wasn't that the one? He barely wanted to talk to us. He avoided us as much as he could. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, until the very end.
Yeah. He didn't
I
seem like
wouldn't
the
have
kind of guy
expected-
that was going to be doing this stuff. But who the hell does?
I wouldn't have expected this at all.
This is terrible. We gotta find Sister B. She knew him pretty well. She might be able to get us some answers.
Okay. Yeah, where is she now?
Sister B's working downtown. I don't
But-
think she'd be. She's not being reclusive, so
Right.
she wouldn't be hard to
Yeah,
find.
so we would know that she's there. All right.
So Sister B or Sam, is there anything y'all want to do towards the end of this episode?
I just want to tell Ethan, because he seems like a good person, and he's very intrigued by what's going on. I want him to be careful. So I tell him, tell him where I'm staying. And I said, oh, I think you know what Sister B would be. I would be over at the church working in soup kitchen, and I sleep there, of course, at nights. If you need anything or any help or anything like that, or you have information, that's where you can find me. But I will also stop in on you. But I will tell you something. Be very careful. Watch for people watching you. There are many people around town with too many eyes looking at too many things.
And Sister B, what do you give Ethan? Because you essentially, right, you wanted him to run some more tests, right?
Mm-hmm. What does Sister B have that she could give him? Well, she does have some money she can give him, but
It's not about money. Just
Yeah.
what do you want him to run? Like, are you giving him
Oh.
another?
Oh, another sample?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going back to the house with the vials that he gave me,
Okay.
and then I'm going to refill those and bring them back to him because he was to send them to the University of New Mexico.
Okay. And this is a few weeks later, right? Like after the last time y'all have been at the house, and Richard's house just feels different now, right? It feels vacant and empty, and like so much that's happened here. And let's see, let's make a spot hidden roll to see what you can find to scrape into these last vials.
Oh, looks like I missed by 2 points on my spot. Nope, missed by 7 points on my spot hidden. So I missed that one. How about an intelligence roll to figure out where, perhaps if it is a fungiform, looking in a dark, moist corner or something like that?
Sure. You could push that roll.
I rolled even worse, 71.
Oh,
She's not coming up with any luck to find any fungiforms today.
Okay. And so you're going all around the house, and you're not coming up with anything. You're scraping around, and there's a knock at the door.
Well, so this is to be, will be. This room was, well, she would have been in the room. She would in upstairs, downstairs, wherever she might be. She goes down to the door where she keeps her suitcase down there in the kitchen, and goes to the door, and she listens because she listens very good. So if she hears any voices talking to each other, to see if it might be multiple people or one person.
Yeah, and there's a slight conversation, and you hear one guy kind of razzing the other, and he says, "What are you knocking for, man? There's obviously we're sitting here to clean stuff up. There's nobody here. Just go in." And he's like, I don't know. I felt weird about it. I felt like I should I don't know. And then you hear the front door open.
Sister B goes right to the front door, and she'll grab the door and pull it open even faster to startle them.
Okay. And as you whip the door open, there standing in front of you are two privates who are probably there to like finish up some of this government work. And we'll cut over to Sam.
Yeah, so Sam would be out in the field with Amos in a wagon, and Zed pulling them around, and I'd be taking the cows out to pasture and putting one into the pen that we tend to put out once in a while. And I guess as I'm running around having a good time, keeping Amos entertained, I'd see a little mound of ants. And the ants are, I noticed one struggling to pull out a stone out of this anthill. And I would probably stop, and I would just start to say, and fixate it, and start to, maybe a tear would roll down my cheek as I start to think about the words of Ira, and mutter to myself, "Bloodstone?"
All right. And on that, we will cut away.
Oh. That is going to do it for us tonight. Until next time, you can find us at underthelibrary.com. Don't forget to check out our other show. It is called Up Your RPG and can be found wherever you get your podcasts. So for me, for Michael, for Scott, for Rick, for Wayne, for Emily, and for the behind-the-scenes Chris, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.